My name is Andreas, and I'm a lawyer with Legalline and legalline.ca. For the past few months, I've been working with Sarah and Emma through our work with Pro Bono Students Canada. So we've been working together to review, update, and increase the amount of free legal information on legalline.ca. And we're here to talk about our experience working together. So can you tell me a little bit about how you got involved, why you got involved, and how we ended up here?
When I was looking at all the different opportunities on Pro Bono Students Canada, LegalLine really stood out to me because of the breadth of law that they cover and the amount of people that they helped. I really liked the idea of actually seeing the work that I was doing translate into results quickly. And I felt like that was a really unique and exciting opportunity. Also, on the website, I saw all the different awards that LegalLine has received, including from the Law Society of Ontario. And to me, that was really exciting to be a part of something so successful and so big.
You flatter us. No, it's true. And your work is making a difference. Your work, the updates you've made are live. We're helping thousands of people a day, and thousands of people are benefiting from the work that you're doing. So that's a nice give and go.
Yeah, I want to echo that as well. Going into my second year of law school, I didn't particularly feel like I had enough real-world practice. As much as law school prepares you, it doesn't give you, I don't think that it fully gives you the skills to work in a client-facing environment. And I think being able to break down laws into an accessible format is really important. And I'm really glad that LegalLine has given me the opportunity to do that.
Well, that's our goal. We try to make the law accessible to everybody. We try to make it come across as something that you can actually digest without needing a legal background. And we provide that information in 107 languages so that no matter where you're from, no matter what language you speak, you can understand the laws that are governing you. Let's talk a little bit about what the work has actually looked like over the past few months and what you're expecting in the coming months.
What I had to do was go to the website and review everything that was already there. This gave me a really good baseline before actually starting to go in and do substantive edits, which I ended up doing in the sports law section, which is now live on LegalLine. Yes, very impressive. And I really enjoyed that it started with a kind of a simple task, because it is hard when you go into something and you're kind of left to your own devices. Not that there's a lot of support at LegalLine, but it is like you want to challenge yourself. You want to do it on your own because that's the whole point. You want this practice in actual...
well, in an area that you might not be super familiar with.
Exactly.
You might not have taken a consumer law course at school, or maybe you have, but it was limited. Or
well, to build on that as well, right. I am still unsure of the area of law that I want to do. So having the opportunity to work on so many different areas is really beneficial because I'm starting to see what I do like and what I don't like, and that's leading me down a path, which is really helpful.
Pop in, check something out, see how you feel about it. See if it gives you a stomachache or a smile, and then that might give you some direction moving forward with your professional career.
Yeah, just to add on to that, I really liked how Andreas kind of gave us a list of different areas of law and how we got to choose what interested us rather than him just giving us like one area of law and saying, this is your area. And so for me, I chose to do credit, debt, and bankruptcy because that kind of interested me. And so just echoing off what Emma said, I really enjoyed getting to do research and kind of see where the law needed to be updated and what needed to be changed. And actually getting to do something that would be published on the website was really awesome.
And now that I know you a little bit better, I know you kind of have this business corporate leaning vibe going on. So I would imagine you chose credit, debt, and bankruptcy because there are a lot of business related implications there. And just because you take a business law class at school doesn't mean they're really focused on credit, debt, and bankruptcy. It's kind of a niche area. That's why it's a niche area or a specific area on LegalLine. And it sounds like you got a lot out of that side of things.
Yeah, exactly. I think my research focused obviously on big corporations and how they would go into debt, but then also on the individual level and how the process would look different for them. So getting to see it from both perspectives was really cool.
And what sort of skills do the two of you think you developed or practiced during the last few months?
I think the biggest thing for me was that you don't really realize how much legal vocabulary there is, and especially as a first-year student.
The legalese, the dreaded legalese.
The jargon, all of it. So especially as a first-year student, having never been exposed to it before and then being kind of thrown into this, it was a big learning curve and a big learning experience for me.
And you had to contend with not only the legal terms, but also the very business dense terms. There are weird terms in credit, debt, and bankruptcy that aren't legal terms per se. They may also be legal terms, but they're also industry terms.
Yeah.
So you had to deal with both of that.
Exactly. So it made me think about, if I have a business degree and now I'm in law school and these words are coming off difficult to understand for me, I can only imagine how it would just any regular person.
It's true.
So it just makes me think about how important the work that Legal Line is doing, because we really are taking the information and making it understandable to the everyday person.
Yeah, and to add to that, I have submitted things to you, and you've come back to me with really, really relevant feedback, which has been really helpful. Like, I will give you things, and you'll say, but we're presenting it on a website that's meant for informational purposes. We're not spreading our opinion about laws. We're not trying to convince people of anything, and I think it's a really important skill to learn to write that way as a lawyer.
It's simple to say.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to do, and that's really the genius here. It's turning something into the exact same thing, but in a language that people can understand. We're not adding anything. We're not taking anything away. We're not presenting an opinion. We're not presenting a bias. It's not a blog. It's almost like the Bible of law for regular people.
Mm-hmm. And it's been nice having that sort of one-on-one interaction with you as well, because again, in law school, you're in a class with at least 25 people, and it's hard to get one-on-one feedback. So it's been nice.
That's what makes the dream work, really.
For sure.
So as we look forward into the next semester, semester 2, we're going to be transitioning from a research project into a writing project. So we're going to have the opportunity to practice writing, practice distilling law into regular people words, and work on some skills that you may have never actually worked on before in this way. What do you think that's going to look like?
I think there's two important factors. I think there's going to be the organization factor. So what makes sense to come first? We're going to have to start from the ground up. So we're going to have to figure out the order that makes sense and is the most easiest to understand. And secondly, I think just the overall writing skills. I think once it's sitting there and once the writing's complete and it's clear, it doesn't look like it was that hard.
No.
But I think starting from the beginning, writing is very hard, and especially making it really easy to understand and distilling what's important from what's not important. These are things that are very challenging, but I'm excited to develop these skills.
It's funny you mentioned that, because good writing goes unnoticed. It's almost like you don't get the credit. When you read something that's smooth, that's easy to understand, you don't notice. You blast through it. You don't pause and say thanks to the author. You just got the information you wanted, and that's that. So it is very tricky, and it's almost thankless work at the conscious level, but unconsciously, it's obviously what we're aiming to do.
You only realize maybe when it's not easy to understand or when there's unnecessary information. Exactly.
And also to add to that, even though it's a writing project next semester, I think it's going to be really educational for us, because we are given just topics with titles. Some of those we choose ourselves, which is a great opportunity, but we're given titles and we have to go out into the vast world of knowledge that there is and find specifically what the most prominent parts are.
Well, you have to plan the topic before you even get started on the topic. There's definitely going to be research here. There's definitely going to be reading. There's definitely going to be brainstorming. And then there's some creativity work, because you have to decide, okay, this is relevant to the topic, but do I want to present it? Does it confuse the issue? Is it necessary for this topic? Should it be in another topic? As Sarah mentioned, the organization is the first battle, and it's the one you need to get right from the jump. Because if we mix that up, it's not going to be smooth in the end, no matter what you do.
It just makes me think about how much Legal Line has already completed and how much work it takes to make each topic what it is right now.
30 years.
30 years.
Yeah, and it's not just, being introduced to Legal Line, it's not just on the editor side. Like, I now go to the website. If I am doing an assignment, I took intellectual property last semester, and I was doing an assignment, and I wanted to say something about, I can't remember specifically what it was, but I wanted to be very brief. It was just in passing. And I was like, I know exactly where I can get something, a very broad overview of what I'm trying to say. And
no extra, no fluff.
No, yeah, exactly.
Straight to the point, easy to understand. Do you have any takeaways you want to leave with our viewers and potentially with our PBSC students in the coming years? What should they expect? Did you have a nice time? What was the best part? What was the worst part? How do you feel overall?
I definitely think if you get the chance to do both Pro Bono Students Canada and if you get the chance to work with Legal Line, jump at it. It's been a great opportunity, and as I've said before, I think it's so important to do things outside of the university aspect of your legal education. Not only does it look good on a resume, it is also just so rewarding, and Sarah, I'm sure you can back me up on that.
For me, even though I do want to go into corporate law, I think working with Legal Line has reminded me how important it is to always be getting involved in pro bono work and always remember to help those who need it. And I think working at Legal Line has really reminded me of that.
Well, at some point we all need it, right?
Exactly. So I think that's a really important factor of me working at Legal Line, and it just makes me want to continue helping people and using my legal education too.
Yeah, and as well for future students that might be thinking about maybe participating in Pro Bono Students Canada, I definitely think you should. And if you get the chance to apply for Legal Line, I think you should, because Pro Bono Students Canada might seem like a daunting task that is kind of held over you during your academic workload. But working with Legal Line, we had a completely flexible schedule.
Yeah, talk to us about the workload, the schedule, how you broke it up.
Yeah, so when I was first given my first assignment, which was editing consumer law, we both discussed what the deadline would be. It wasn't just, here's your deadline, get it done. We discussed it together, we picked it together, and we made sure that it wasn't at a time where I had a really intense workload.
So you got to maneuver yourself and work when it was convenient, when it made sense, and when you could focus on the work and not sacrifice your studies and things like that.
Exactly, and you have been very kind and very good with communication and making sure that nothing is during our exams, nothing is even remotely close to it, and if we want, we can adjust. I've had a few times where I've had to email you. You've been completely understanding, and I think going into working with Legal Line, I was really worried about how I was going to balance it all. I work an actual job, I am doing my school, and I'm also now working with Legal Line, and it's been completely manageable for me. So I think it's definitely something that future students should consider.
You have no excuses.
Yeah, I also think looking into the future and when maybe the year with Legal Line is done, I feel like Andreas and the Legal Line team are still going to be there to support me, and they've already helped me with my cover letter and other extracurricular things. So
You're stuck with me now.
Exactly. So it's really nice to feel supported by people who've gone through what you've gone through.
It's been my pleasure. I've had a lot of fun working with the both of you. You've done great work so far, and I'm excited to see what happens in the months to come.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.